Right, so the tank, time to get it painted. I've agonised over this because the paint on it is not horrendous, and I was tempted to just rub it down and give it a go. However, what I don't know if there's a clear coat on this. I do know it's not petrol proof, whatever's on there, but because I don't know the paint, it just makes sense to strip it all back. I looked at it and thought, well, I can just rub down where there's the scratches, but I'm going to do it properly. Because I do it properly, I bought some Nitromors because I do have some paint stripper, but frankly it's shite. And I've used this stuff before, not on motorbikes to be fair. I've used this stuff before, it is pretty awesome, so I'm going to give it a coat up and let it soak in. Okay, a little bit of sort of mid-strip footage, really validating that it was a good idea to strip it. It wasn't stripped before, it was painted over the top to the point where you still see the Kawasaki sticker. Right, so been half job before, let's do it properly. Okay, so sorry for the terrible lighting, but it is late. It's turning into an epic, this. So I've got most of the black paint on that's been kind of semi-thrown on. Down to the original red, the original Kawasaki. So it's had a couple of scrape downs, a couple of coats. I'm just going to bang on a load of Nitromors now and just let it try and burn its way through overnight. Cheers all. And it continues. You can see why people don't strip their tanks right down to the bare, because it's a freaking nightmare. It's taken a good few coats last night, a fair amount of scrubbing, a fair amount of elbow grease, but it's getting there. It is an epic strip. Really good title for a YouTube video actually, but I might not use that. I might end up with the wrong type of hits, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So I say it's getting there. It's taken, the Nitromors is empty, the remains of my paint stripper that I had before is empty, and I've dipped into a new one as well just to get it as far as I have. Yeah, I was hoping to paint this weekend. I might end up spending all of it just prepping. Oh well, say lovey. Holy crap, this is not giving in easily. Good news is the tank's in beautiful condition. There's no repairs on it. There's no obvious dents, although there's probably a couple of little ones that will show up with paint. But by Christ, is that a bastard to get off. I'm trying to, you can see the detritus. I'm trying to count probably about 6 or 7 layers of paint stripper. Go for the last one there. I'm resisting the urge as much as possible to take any sandpaper to it because I don't want to damage the surface. So it's all with a good old-fashioned wire brush and just batting it down. So giving it a bit of a clean off, hence the open cap, because the tape that I put on rubbed off. But it's looking really good. But I've just given it another dose, just pop it out for a while. So I'm going to leave that to eat in and see what we achieve. Cheers all. And just by way of showing some progress today, because that tank's taking forever, these have been really bugging me. So that's the top of the forks, and there is a clip that goes over the top. Now the EM450 has like pneumatic forks. They're fork oil at the bottom, but pneumatic, so you can adjust it slightly. I've been trying to find ways of covering that up, and I kind of fell across a solution that I think ends up looking quite good. Best out of all, it's cheap. I'm trying to find the proper covers of them, they just don't exist. It's an old bike, those things don't exist anymore. So what I've got is a big washer with a big hole that fits over beautifully, and a little dust cap. And what you end up with is something that looks like it's been made for it. Ta-da! Look at that, so much better. Simple solution to an annoying problem, and I think looks pretty good. At some point I may spray them, I don't know. Do they need to be black? I actually quite like a little bit of silver on there, but yeah, little quick win. And I need it today because that tank's killing me. Cheers all. Okay, the epic paint stripping's finished. The sound quality's bad and the lighting's bad because it's hammering it down out there. I'm in the garage and it's dark. Garage has had a little bit of a facelift, so because I'm obviously not going to be painting outside in this sort of weather, let alone when it's dark, bikes are all suitably covered. That's up. I've made myself a bit of a dolly, I suppose, out of a bike stand, so a maintenance stand for push bikes. Yeah, first things first though, before that just flash rusts overnight. I'm just going to give it a scrub down, get the initial flash rust off it, and then just chuck some primer on it and leave it to thoroughly cure overnight. So that's the next job. I'll fill you in as I go along. Right, and there we go, all rubbed down, 120 grit, just to get that flash rust off. Just going to chuck on some primer, if nothing else, just to stop the rust from jumping back in again. So I'm going to give it a really light prime. I'm really chuffed with this little sand thing that I've made up, rather than doing it on the leg of a wheelbarrow, I think I did last time. So that should make my life a lot easier. Right, cool. Just assuming the rain doesn't come through this garage roof while I'm doing it. Right, be right back. Alright, there you go. That's one very thin base coat on. I'm determined to avoid the normal urge with spray paint of just whacking it on as thick as it'll stick. I want to go for 0 runs on this one, so it's deliberately thin. So I'm going to go for probably 2 more of those before I call it a night. So call it a night. Backwards clock confusing people, that's 20 to 8. Yeah, I don't want to be doing this all night, if for no other reason. It's shitty weather to be in a garage. Plus, it's raining, there's no breeze. I'm in a garage spray painting. It is well ventilated. I left the door open and all of that, but yeah, I don't want to spend too long in it. But the advantage of it being night time, yeah, I've just jammed a ball up in here because I want to try and get rid of some of that red as well. I must remember to flush this tank out once I'm done. Nah, don't forget that. Cool. Right, let that dry off for another 10 minutes or so and do one more. Okay, so there we have the end result of a long couple of days, and it's only primed. But looking good. More than a little bit in love with my painting rig. It's made life so much easier. There's a crane fly flying around here that is going to fucking jump on this at some stage, I'm sure. But yeah, we're happy with that. There's the odd kind of, oh, there you go, you can just see one there. There's the odd tiny little dent, but frankly nothing I'm going to try and fill, for the simple reason that I'm not good enough. And I'd only, for such a tiny little dent, I'd end up cocking it up even more. So yeah, odd bit of dust that I'll have a knock at tomorrow morning, but that's me for the evening. It's looking good. I'm going to let that cure for the night, and hopefully get on with some blacking tomorrow. Cheers all, good night.